Listen, buddy, I'm not going to be around when the Armenians take over the world.
Who the hell wants you?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the podcast. This is Lost in Hollywood with me, Levon Muradian, and this is episode 6. Welcome back. Today we have a special guest, a photographer, a music photographer, shoots celebrities. This is word for word what he usually says. Armen Keleshian, how you doing, man?
What's up, Lev?
How you doing, dog?
I'm good, man. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. I'm having a good time, Just feels good to do something that's a little bit normal, like during COVID times and stuff. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
No, thank you for coming through, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, we've met. This is the first time I've met you.
Right.
So we ended up meeting on the new social media app, Clubhouse.
Yep.
Which is popping.
I love Clubhouse. It just kind of, I don't know, it just came into this world where people are at home. They just need to connect with somebody, and people just got on and realized how easy it is to network with people and connect with people. So, I've just been on it. I've just been spending time, and obviously that's how we met,
That's how we did. Actually, I think we are very like-minded because I think I gravitated towards you in conversation because you don't take things too seriously. And I think a lot of people take things way too seriously in general.
It's not worth it. It's not worth your time. Look, man, in life, time is like you have a little timeline, right? You have dedicated time to live. If you want to give portions of that time to other people, it's got to be worth it. It's part of your lifeline, right? So sometimes, you got to skip the bullshit and all that and just find the right people to invest in, the right place to invest your time. So
I agree with you. It's that old saying, it's a memento mori, right? You're going to die anyway.
Mori. Wow. I didn't know that. I mean, yeah, I am going to die anyway. We're all going to die anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
So you better make use of your time as much as possible, to do something that's relevant or, productive enough.
It's an investment in yourself and other people as well. So
I agree with you, G. So how long have you been a photographer? How did you begin? What was your let's say your timeline from what made you want to become a photographer, and then where you are now from where you were.
I was like 15 or 16 years old. I was living in Beirut, Lebanon at the time.
Right.
So I was born in the U.S., but my family went back to Lebanon, when I was like 5, 6 years old. So I grew up there. I grew up in the Middle East, and I was like in high school, and my dad had this old camera that he wasn't using, was just lying around. With that being said, it wasn't like a film camera or anything. It was like one of the first digital Canon cameras. It had like optical zoom and stuff. It was like semi-pro, so you could do some manual settings on it and stuff.
Right.
So I grabbed it, and I was like, I'm just going to try this because it looks like sick to shoot stuff up close and have like a blurry background. Depth of field was my thing. I was attracted to that. So I grabbed the camera. I started shooting random shit, dude. I was shooting like Pepsi cans, flowers, cars, my homies, we'd go camping, just take it with me,
just fuck around.
Yeah, just fuck around, man. I was just having a good time. And our place in Lebanon, we have a view of the Mediterranean Sea. And during the winter, I started experimenting more with long exposure, so shooting lightning and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So it was pretty cool. And I started posting it online on Facebook at the time.
Right.
Instagram didn't exist, right? So it was like a Facebook photo group that I created because everyone's like, your photos are, they're cool, just post them. So I did the oversaturation, the giant watermark on the picture, everything, every mistake you could do. So I did all of it, and started taking off. By the time I was I did this for a couple of years, and by the time I was 17, 18, there was a local comedian up and coming. His name was Nimr Abu Nassar.
Okay.
And he had a show on the radio. He was 24 at the time or something like that. He was super young. And that radio station was the biggest in the Middle East. So he had a comedy show a couple times a week. So I kept messaging this dude. I was like, yo, I emailed him one time. I was like, look, I would love to work with you. Let me come shoot some of your shows. I think you're funny. And, this dude's like, dude, you're a kid. I can't let you get into, clubs and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to come regardless. So I hit him up a couple times, and I just showed up one day. He's like, you're fucking crazy. You're persistent. You want to do this. He's like, all right, you want to go? Let's go. So we started filming pranks and stuff and all that. And one thing led to another. And I started interning at that radio station. That radio station organized all the concerts.
Right.
So they're the ones promoting all this stuff, bringing all the artists and stuff.
Right.
So, I kind of became their in-house concert photographer without wanting to. Like I shot a show for them, and it was Shakira. That's the first show I ever shot, and they loved the photos. They had Evanescence come after that. They had 30 Seconds to Mars. They had 50 Cent, J. Cole. Like all these people started coming, so I started connecting with these people over there. Their managers, all that, and my current roommate, who I live with in LA, he was the DJ.
Oh, really?
Time for the clubs, like where like the artists would go and like they would have like an after party or whatever. So we kind of knew the same people. So when we both moved out here in LA, moved out here to LA in 2012, we started hitting all these people up, and
because you've already kind of networked with them
right,
already.
Right. So just connecting dots left and right with people, going to like this music video shoot behind the scenes, shooting concerts, the whole like sneaking in, try to get shots, just reaching out to everyone. That's just kind of how it snowballed, and then Instagram happened. When Instagram happened, everything just kind of changed. I didn't know that I would have a career path in this. It was just something I was doing for fun. I was going to school for like business and stuff. So it had nothing to do with it.
It's like you took the fork in the road, huh?
Right. And the more you shoot, the more comfortable you get shooting in specific scenarios, specific conditions, and all that. So I just got really comfortable with like having the camera, running around and getting a shot in that moment, trying to learn how to light a shot and all that. So I don't know. That's
how it
a
started.
Long answer, but yeah.
Well, at least you were persistent. I mean, a lot of people want to just directly start shooting big stuff,
Right.
It doesn't work that way a lot of the time, man.
It's got to be organic.
It does. You have to put in the grind too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've done pretty much, not in Beirut, obviously.
Right.
I was born and raised here, but I've kind of went through that path doing like PA work to shooting BTS, and then gradually we ended up shooting like music videos and run and gun and guerrilla, no budget, no nothing. But they were well known. Like this is before they became famous type of like work.
Right.
And then gradually that I stopped really liking doing that. I mean, like in regards to music videos, it's not my jam anymore, bro. You're there for 14 hours, 15 hours.
It doesn't pay.
It doesn't pay you dick.
But
it's not always about the pay.
You gotta be passionate about it. That's the
Absolutely.
thing.
But
You gotta be passionate about it.
It's not always about the pay.
Absolutely.
Because you're saying, you know what, if I put in the grind and put in the work, I'll get luckier.
Absolutely.
And that's how it is, right?
I think there's something that's really important too, is like people starting out, they think they're really talented, or they might be really talented, and they are given an opportunity. So talent will get you in the door, but your character is what's going to keep you in that room. You might be the most talented motherfucker, but you might not have that character. You might not know how to handle business. You might not know how to talk to people. You might say the wrong thing. So it's not just being really talented and knowing the right people. It's knowing how to navigate this industry, specifically music. Like, I mean, I know fashion has its own thing, and like photography on every level has like some sort of political thing tied to it. Like when it comes to business,
there's always like some type of like group, and it's just the same network over and over again.
Right. You just people gotta fuck with you, man. You gotta be dope. People got to fuck with you. You got to know when to speak and when not to speak, and just keep your head low and keep working. People like that. As long as you're like genuine and you're not like, this big shot, like,
Yeah, you got like a big ego already, like, but there's nothing really popping off.
Dude, ego destroys everything. I mean, think about ego and like artists, like think about meeting your favorite artist and they have this like huge ego. You're no longer going to be a fan, like things of that nature. Like, ego is destructive on any level, not just when you're starting out or when you're big or when you're small. Like it's just bad. So you got to learn how to like contain.
Have some humility towards everything.
Absolutely. I mean, I learned that the hard way. I wasn't the most humble person starting out.
I would, same, man. Because you're like, oh, I should be doing this because I know how to. I think I'm better than this person, person, and this person.
Absolutely. I did those mistakes. That's how I learned. I mean, it's just once you see the value of what it truly means, and you see how things start changing for you, that's when you realize, damn, people knew what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
The payoff is much better than what you were making before that, for sure.
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, a lot of long nights doing nothing. I mean, doing work that you don't even enjoy doing for others, but it'll help you push you towards the right direction, or the direction that somebody might take you to another, meet another person, and just a network that just keeps going, I guess.
I think another part of it is like it helps you discover the direction you actually want to go in, because sometimes you might go in with a vision and say, this is what I want to do. And then like a couple of years down the road, you're like, I can't believe that's what I wanted to do. I've learned this and that, and I want to do this now. So really it just helps you discover yourself. You know, you got to try. It's like when you go to Carousel right here.
Fire, by the way.
Carousel is amazing. When you order a meze, you're not just eating the hummus and you're just going to kill that plate. You're going to try a little bit of everything if it's your first time, if you've never tasted it. And then you're going to be like, all right, I want some of this and that and that. You got to try to see what you like. And then you got to pick the one thing you like.
That stands out to you, right?
And put another scoop of it. So really it's, I don't know, it's like trial and error. There is no like quick way to go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? There's no like secret sauce. Like,
no fast track, no nothing.
Shortcuts are non-existent. You know, you got to pay your dues. It's going to take some time. You're not going to get paid. It's going to be long nights. Sometimes you're going to pay to go to do a gig that you're not getting paid for an opportunity. So it's like, I don't know. It's like a combination of all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, I get you, man. I mean, what's something that's really like you had to really go out of your way to do, like you just mentioned, out of your way. It was a shit show. Something like something that really like you're like, damn, that was crazy.
I mean, dude, like at the beginning, I couldn't get access to a lot of shows just because my approach was email all these publications, tell them you would shoot for free and get somebody to get you access, which is what you're supposed to do if you're paying your dues and starting up. But you also know people, you meet people along the way, right? So I would email the publication and be like, we got you. And then I would contact the manager and be like, I see what I could do. And then you contact a friend of an artist and see what I could do. And at the end of the day, you end up in a situation where everyone's trying to come through for you and they're all talking to each other. And they're like, well, he hit me up and he also hit me up and he also hit me. Like, why is he trying to, you know? So I had to be in a situation where I had to explain myself as like, it's not that I don't trust you. I just really want to shoot this show. I really want to get access to a specific thing. And I wanted to make sure that I could cover my bases. And some people saw that as like, well, you don't trust me. Like, you don't think that I can do this for you. So, you know, like a couple of times, you know, at shows and stuff that's happened where, you know, or like you'll have, for example, if you want to hear about a shit show story, if you'll have like a photo pit credential and you'll end up backstage because you know people and you see them and they'll just take you under your wing.
Right.
And you're not supposed to be there and their boss comes and they know you too and they see you and they're like, what are you doing here? How did you get in here? So in the world of like event and concert photography, there are certain rules and standards. Hip hop does not respect those boundaries. Yeah,
because it has its own.
Right.
It's like the Wild West sometimes, right?
It is a combination of the street and corporate, and sometimes you're caught in between both, and you got to make both ends satisfied. So you got to make sure you keep your corporate relationships good, but you also got to be tied to the people that are like, you know, putting you on. So
right.
Sometimes it's like a double-edged sword. You got to find the right place to be at the right time with one person and then just kind of break away and do your own thing and then come back. Like, it's a world you got to learn how to navigate. It's not just like here's your pass, go do your thing.
Go.
That's great if you're trying to shoot for Getty, if you're trying to shoot the first 3 songs of a concert and get like those shots of your favorite artist on stage or whatever and then dip. That's never what I'm doing. I think about it this way. If they gave me a photo pit when I asked for all access or an artist pass or, you know, I'm just asking to shoot an event, right? Or not even VIP. Like,
right.
I don't go to the photo pit because that pass will get me to the photo pit whenever I want. I go and try to get anywhere else with that.
A different angle.
Right. Because I'm already guaranteed to go there. Like, why would I just go there? There's so many other opportunities to explore. Sometimes security is not paying attention. Sometimes
you just slip through, right?
Dude, there's so many like situations where it's like I didn't even have a pass and I ended up backstage with like this happened at like Camp Flogna like a couple of years ago. The pass I had is just to attend the event. It's just kind of like a guest, like go. I went to security. I went up and I was like, I'm in a rush. I got to get there. My artist is about to hit the stage. They're like, this pass won't get you in. I'm like, this is what they gave me in the car. They have all my passes. I got to get there. Like, if you dress the way you're supposed to be, if you know how to talk to people, if you look like you belong there, you'll 9 times out of 10, you'll find a way with security. If that door won't work, there's another one around.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, there's a way to get through catering. There's so many ways to get into places that you need to be.
Well, that's dedication, pretty much.
I mean, there's no other way. Everyone else is competing to get that shot. If you want to be the person, you got to find a way to get there. And sometimes, you know, like this still happens in my case where it's like I have to be somewhere to shoot something and I'm not supposed to be there. But when I get that shot, I can ask for forgiveness later.
Right.
Or I'll use that as an opportunity to connect with people. Like if someone came and said something to me, like I'll apologize. I'll explain to them like how I ended up there. If I tell them the hustle story, they'll respect that. If I tell them, well, I was just trying to shoot like ASAP Rocky, people are gonna be like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you know. So it's like,
right away, it's like, wait a minute, this guy's not down.
So I mean, that's how it started. I like, thankfully, I'm on a level, like, in a place right now where I have the connections with the right people where I need to be, like, I can make it happen.
Right.
So
you don't have to go through that much, that type of thing as much as before.
Right. But I mean, if you're still shooting the Drakes and the Kardashians and the Kanye West and stuff, it's still...
I'm sure, because that's even bigger shit show type of thing, right?
Dude, like, the most prolific, most respected photographers will have issues getting into places sometimes because Kanye or Kim might know them personally. Right. But in order for you to get noticed, for them to see you and say, yes, he's good, you got to go through so many layers of, like, there's different vendors, different companies. Call it
the lasagna.
Dude, there's so much.
The lasagna of people.
Oh, my God. There's so much you got to go through just to get to that position where, like, the people that actually know you and hired you will let you in. Like, you know, a lot of the times when people go, like, you're going to pick up your credentials at the ticket booth. And I'm like,
no, I'm not.
I'm like, I'll go. I know they're going to give me, like, a ticket to go into the show and maybe, like, a wristband. But I'm going to have an issue bringing my camera in. So now I need a production pass. Like, it's a whole... You know what I'm saying? It's a whole thing. When I work with iHeartRadio, they're great. They'll have everything ready to go. They'll have a contact come out and meet you, escort you.
Because they're professional people.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then when you go shoot something at the Novo in, by Staples, it's always a shit show. You can never get in touch. Like, I'm not bashing the venue. I'm talking about, like, the organization. Like, it depends on who's, you know, organizing the event, who's handling the credentialing, what kind of, like, if you're going through, like, publicist, you're going through the artist, you're going through the DJ, you're going through a homie, you're going through a music mogul.
It all depends.
It all depends. It's pretty crazy. I've gotten all the experiences.
That's amazing, man. I mean, I've looked at a lot of your work. I respect it. You have some very, very interesting angles. You've shot some very well-known people, the Drakes of the world, the Kardashians. Which one is the most humble out of majority of the people? Humble as in, like, you could just approach them like a friend almost.
Two people that are not friends with each other, but I'll give you the example.
Okay.
Drake is, I'll say this out loud, he's like one of my favorite artists. I think what he's doing for this generation is bigger than what Michael Jackson has done for his generation.
Some people would agree with you.
People argue with me about this all the time.
Really?
And if you are one of those people, I'd love to take the argument on, but I love Drake. And the reason why I love his music and who he is and what he does is because he is true to who he is. He is the biggest artist of this generation, but I can go up to him, shake his hand, and have a conversation, and he'll take the time to stop by and talk and say something. And
I think that's what makes him successful, I think, right?
Dude, I don't know if it's because he's Canadian. I don't know if it's because
he's a nice guy. Canadians are nice people usually, right?
Dude, he is the biggest artist in the room. He is.
Everybody respects him. As soon as he walks in, it's like, you know, some people have an aura about them when they come in.
Right.
I'm sure he's one of those people.
You feel, you gravitate towards it. You know what I'm saying? But you feel welcomed. You don't have, like, security pushing, shoving people. He's just there. Security's walking. If you get in the way, they'll tell you to move. If you're not supposed to take pictures, they'll just tell you not to take pictures. They'll give you that verbal warning one time. You keep doing it, someone's going to approach you and say something.
He's like, hey, bro, come here.
And then they're going to have to, like, and it's not like, hey, get the fuck out of here, like, pushing, shoving. Like, someone will come up to you, respectfully talk to you, you know, and they'll be like, hey, you're not supposed to shoot. This is a private moment between him and, you know, like, it's happened before.
Right.
That happened to me at LeBron's ESPYs parties like a few years ago. It was Drake, Future, like the entire, like, everyone in the NBA was there. Adam Silver, like literally everyone. I could shoot everyone, no problem. I could not shoot LeBron and Drake talking to each other.
Because it's personal, I guess.
They were having a private conversation. I had the access. I was there. Everything was good. But they were having a private conversation. They didn't want, like, you know, it's not about the photo. They didn't want anyone to be around to hear what was going on. Someone approached me and had a conversation. I was like, all right, I backed off, and I never got that shot, and I'm okay with that.
Right. Some people be like sitting and thinking about.
I'll go around and be like, let me get it from there. Like, it's stupid. You don't want to be in that situation. Don't be an idiot.
Because they'll remember you.
Dude, especially in this industry,
yeah, they will
remember you. I'll tell you that much. So don't be an idiot. You know, take an opportunity to, like, if you have an opportunity to be around these people, you will eventually get an opportunity to get a photo if that's what you want to do. Like, not with them, obviously. Don't ever do that unless you know the person on a personal level. That's different. But, like, don't ever, like, go and be like, hey, you're going to take a selfie or whatever. But if you're in that room, that means you've worked your way up through some important people to get there. If one person sees that you're doing this bullshit, they're not gonna say anything. Next time around,
They'll
you're just not
remember
gonna
it.
be in that room.
Yeah, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's that fool. Get him out of here."
Yeah, no. So Drake is one of those guys. Kanye West, man.
Really?
I approached Kanye, man.
I know he's on with the Armenians. Shout out to our Armenian people, by the way.
Right. I approached him after the Kid Seagos listening party, and I just went up straight to him.
right?
Yeah, him and Cudi. Literally, the last song was playing, and they were just kind of getting escorted, and I had a pass. I was like ahead of them, so I ended up in a room. It's like 10 people. It's him, Kim, the Kardashians are there. It's Cudi, like like Pusha T. Like it's just his close homies, and he was literally just standing there, not on his phone, nothing. He was just admiring the moment, and I was like, and he had a smile on his face, and I was like, this is the opportunity. So I went up to him and I shook his hand. I said, Kanye, it takes a lot of courage, and people call you crazy for wanting to change this world. But I feel like it takes crazy people to change the world. And, he gave me a hug. He looked at me. He smiled. He said, thank you very much for sharing that. I didn't know him. I didn't know anyone around him. I was there for a completely different reason. I just ended up in that situation. But, like, he was approachable. He was humble. So what I'm trying to get at is, like, the biggest stars are the people that got there because they were humble, because they were nice, because they skipped through the bullshit, and they're talented.
Absolutely.
Some people have talents. They have the biggest egos.
I've
Some
met
people
plenty.
don't have talents. You know what I'm saying?
I've met so many of them too, man. I mean, I've had my own fair share of stories.
Tell me, man. I'm interested to hear it.
Okay, let's see. Where can we begin? I mean, so one of the most rudest people I've ever met. I'm very straightforward, bro. I'll tell you. So Tyga, one of the most rudest people I've ever met in my life. I mean, we used to go to his house and shoot music videos in his rented house somewhere in Sherman Oaks, somewhere like that, and he would always treat everybody like shit, bro. He would be like, he's like, well, I'm paying you guys, so hurry this shit up because my next chick is gonna come through or whatever the fuck he wants, that type of thing.
Recently? Was it before? Like
this is mixed. This is mixtape Tyga.
Okay.
Like when he's still,
He got a lot of money. He doesn't know what he's gonna do with it.
So he was just signed with Young Money. We did dude, we've been to. So we used to go down to Hoover Block in Slauson, and middle of the night at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we ended up shooting a music video. The entire neighborhood came out at 1 o'clock in the morning. We have all this like film gear. Mind you, nobody else has gear besides me because I was the cinematographer or the DP,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. And we were there until 2 o'clock in the morning. And that was actually the first music video that kind of elevated it. Not really elevated us, got the word out that there's these Middle Eastern Armenian kids out here fucking
Right.
doing this type of shit, and they're down, So we started off that way, and it popped off gradually, but we ended up shooting 5 more music videos for him, and I don't know, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Maybe it's just him, but I've also shot Wiz, and one of the most humble people I've ever met in my life.
Wiz definitely. Shout out to Cammy, bro. He's one of the first people that gave me an opportunity to shoot. One of the nicest people. I toured with Tyga last year for a whole year. I had a completely different experience than what you were talking about. I don't know. Maybe he's evolved. He's changed.
Maybe.
Like, you talk about he was 16 when he signed to Young Money. Think about being 16 years old.
This is like 2012, right around there.
Millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a mental state that some people can't take. You know what I'm saying? It turns them into that people sometimes. And you also got to catch somebody at the right time. A lot of times people just probably having a bad day, probably just trying to do something to cover for something else. You had a bad experience. That's that is what it is. It happens. And I've had that with other people where people are like, dude, he's the nicest guy. What are you talking about? I'm like, no, that dude's a dick.
That guy's a dick.
It's just, you can't judge people off of that, but at the same time, you can learn from that experience and know that if an opportunity came up again, you know how to approach it. You know how.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
That's what it is.
I've evolved as a person too, so
Right.
you don't jump the gun on people. Well, then again, I've never really said anything. I keep to myself for shit like that.
Right,
I'm here to create and
Right.
fuck off,
Right. No, I feel you,
and that's pretty much it,
bro. It is what it is. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not defending anyone.
No, I'm not.
I'm just talking about my personal experience. I had a complete opposite 180 of that.
Yeah.
I was taken care of, everything. It was great, but I've been in those situations where people are just dicks. It's just
it comes with the territory of working in this industry, man.
Dude.
It's you have to. I mean, it's a balance. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it's like that.
My writer said I needed black towels. You guys have white towels. I'm not performing until you get black towels.
Wow.
That's happened. There's
That's wild.
a crowd of 25,000 people waiting. I'm not performing until you get black towels.
Why do you think people would do something like that, though? Is it just because they can and just they want to fuck with people?
The person I'm talking about is no longer relevant.
Okay.
So they were the biggest shit back in the day. Like
Back in the day.
they were on the radio and everything.
Okay.
I'm not gonna name the person because
That's okay.
I have beef with them and I don't want to talk about it. But
It's all good. Maybe you'll tell me off air later.
yeah, but I don't even have beef. It's just it was a bad situation. They had an opportunity to fix it.
Never did.
They elevated it to the next level. Not to me personally. I was just part of the crew that was working that, and the entire crew was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I mean, in those situations, like people are sometimes obsessed. Like you got to think about an artist. An artist can be like a humble person that's really talented and great.
Right.
An artist could be a crazy person that creates something amazing that everyone flocks to. But like because they're crazy, everyone's like, "This person's fucking crazy. Like stay away." You know, like. I don't know, man. It might be the money, the fame, the mental state. It might be just who they are. Like you can't, like sometimes there are people in the world that are just not going to be the best people. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be in that situation.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you can't expect everybody to be
You got to take your feelings out of it. That's the big part of it. Like you can't go in with feelings. You could just go in with like, I got to get this and go out. Sometimes people will open up to you. You know, people will be cool. You'll hang out. People will give you unprecedented access sometimes because you just fuck with your vibe.
Right.
Or people will take away the access they've given you because they're like, I just don't feel like doing this right now.
Right.
It's like, it's just a weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is no like concrete answer for that. Like, you're going to run into that in the industry for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think everybody's ran into some type of situation like that. You know, everybody has a story, especially if you're, you know, a creative,
Right.
like a photographer, cinematographer, or like a director or anything like that. And even some directors start acting crazy too.
Absolutely. I mean, you start
becoming the thing that you never said you would become sometimes.
It's tough, man. It's tough because, look, you have a goal you're working towards.
Right.
If you achieve that goal in like a year or 2 years, you're like, damn, I did this. I got to elevate to the next level.
Right.
That's when you're like thinking about yourself and how you can like make yourself a better person. If you achieve that goal early on and you got all this money and you're like, fuck it, I made it out the hood. I'm happy. I got all this money. I'm chilling. Like you'd be like, fuck you and you know nothing about me. I've done this. I've done that. I got people here and there. Like, cool. That's also part of the scene. But at the same time, those people are never going to be the Jay-Z's. The
Oh, yeah.
Drakes,
The highly influential people that
dude, yes.
inspire generations of people.
All these people Jay-Z came from the streets.
100%, bro.
Nipsey Hussle came from the streets.
Shout out Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. That guy was a great man, bro. I shot a music video for him a long time ago with YG and Tyga. It was called, Bitches Ain't Shit.
Yeah.
That was a great video,
It's
man.
one of my favorite songs that they have together. Like early on, 2011, 2012.
Yeah. So we went to all three of those hoods and shot them. It was very interesting.
I've seen that video. I
Really?
didn't know you shot. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was a very fun experience, definitely, especially with Nipsey Hussle. We were trying to find a place. So what had happened was the blood showed up to the Crips neighborhood in Crenshaw, right?
I've been in that situation before. Yeah.
So across the street here, you have all the Bloods. On this side, you have all the Crips, and we're in the Crip neighborhood, and we were going to shoot at Nipsey's grandmother's house. He was going to come out, etc. So whoever ran that neighborhood, I think his name was Big U. So he
Shout
ran
out
that.
Eugene, yeah, Big U. He's the man. He holds it down, by the way.
Yeah, I know he does.
He's like, he's up there.
Yeah, he's like the hood general of that area.
And he's cool with everyone, by the way. Shout out to Big U. Like he's come through. Like, he's partners with the person that helped me get into where I am in my music business.
Well, shout out Big U.
And Steve Lobel. He's the one.
Steve Lobel.
We work.
I've met Steve Lobel too. That's the tall dude, bald head, right? Yeah.
Shout out.
Very
to Steve,
smart
man.
dude.
Steve put me on. I mean, really, he just changed my life. He gave me a lot of the access early on. You know, I worked with him and Nipsey before Nipsey was Nipsey. Like Steve found Nipsey.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, he sounds like Snoop Dogg. You know, he's a Crip. Like it'll never work. Labels turned him down, and then he
popped off.
Nipsey,
And unfortunately, whatever happened to him.
Pretty
man.
crazy. But please continue.
No.
I've been in that situation with Steve in Nipsey's hood, so that's why.
So we were in that neighborhood, and Big U came out. He's he just drove by. He's like, "Listen, wrap all this shit up and get the fuck out. This is not gonna end up well." Because I think he was just gauging the situation. Like,
Right.
I mean, I guess YG's homies were there and Nipsey's, but you never know. It always takes one clown,
right,
to do something.
fuck it all up.
Yeah,
those guys really brought both sides of the street together. Until this day, YG will rep him So
all day. Yeah.
YG has a giant portrait of Nipsey in his own house, like a giant blue silhouette of Nipsey in his own house.
Yeah, they were great friends. Definitely.
Really good friends. I've seen it firsthand. Like legit brothers, not like on some music business shit where let's make money together. Like legit, like
yeah. They're brothers from another mother
absolutely
type of vibe.
Depend like it's like, I mean, that's a divide in hip hop, right? We have the same divide in this country. We got like Republicans and Democrats, and there's always shit happening. If you're not with me, then you're against me. There's no like middle ground, and I hate that. I hate that about this country. I hate that about this business. Is like, why can't I just be cool with everyone? Just fuck with everybody.
I agree with you,
know?
man.
It's tough to be in that situation sometimes. Like people will press you and be like, "Yo, I seen your photos with so and so. Like, what's up with that?" And I'll be like, "It's just work. It's business. Just
I
like
have
this
nothing
is
to do with anything.
That's
Yeah.
business, just like this is business. You know
Of
what I'm
course.
saying? Like I have no loyalty to one side or anything. Like I'm just working with everyone.
It happens in the modeling industry too, bro.
Right.
It's like what? It's like how come you started shooting with so and so agency?
Right.
I'm like, they asked me to shoot. They have great talent. I want to shoot them. It's
Right.
that simple. It has nothing to do with who you know,
Absolutely.
what problem you have. That's none of my business. My business is this is my business.
is to shoot and make sure you look good. Are
Yeah,
you ready? Let's do it.
exactly.
You know, like so a lot of people don't understand that. You know, like they get into situations where like that's what I'm saying. It's like you got to be in the center of like the hood and the the top like
The corporate
level. Yeah,
and the
absolutely,
streets.
Absolutely.
I like that, man. I definitely. I mean, that's the type of. I mean, I grew up in East Hollywood. Majority of the time, I've seen I've seen a lot of shit.
Right.
You'll see all types of weirdos and gangs, etc. And you just got to find a balance because sometimes I feel bad for the people who don't have that type of experience.
Right.
Because it's much harder for them.
They don't understand it. You got to go through it to learn and understand. You know?
Yeah, definitely, man. That's great, man. Any new projects that you're working on, or especially during coronavirus right now, did it kind of halt what you were doing? Because I know you're a music photographer, you have to go to shows or what have you,
Right.
you know?
I mean, I've kept, obviously, I don't just shoot shows. I shoot like studio sessions and artists and their lifestyle and stuff. Honestly, there were a lot of opportunities that I didn't take because I was really like concerned about COVID. I take care of, like, I help out my moms all the time and I go visit and all that. Like I always get tested to make sure, I'm good before I go see her and stuff. So in the beginning of the pandemic, it was pretty bad. I didn't shoot anything, and obviously there wasn't much going on. Then it slowly started opening back up. People, here and there, small things. I wasn't too comfortable. Now I'm at a point where, I feel comfortable going back out and shooting. I've kind of like dealt with the mental of like, all right, I got to be safe, but I also got to work. So I'm going back out there. There's gigs and stuff coming my way. I have stuff lined up. I'm also working on this project where the pandemic really helped me like to learn how to diversify my content. I don't want to just be known as that music photographer.
Yeah.
Concert photographer. I've done so much. I've shot landscapes, travel, models, like all that stuff that I never promoted because, the music thing took off and people are following me for that reason. I was like, I realized that I was shooting for Instagram and that crowd. You know what I'm saying?
I think most photographers have done that, bro.
Right.
Me too. Like I've only posted this stuff, but just like you, I mean, I've shot all types of different places and people portraits, but people know me for
that's
this.
what you're known for.
Yeah.
But like I guess now it comes down to like how do you utilize that to get more jobs centered around like working with brands, working like on an individual. Like I'm trying to set up studio shoots with some of my like I guess quote unquote famous friends to do like some dope portrait work, and I'm doing that because I want to do it as experience. So like 2-3 of these are lined up. I'm paying for them out of pocket. I'm like, dude, just come. We'll shoot. Like, we'll get something out of it. I know next time around that person's going to need something. They're going to hit me up because that's the type of relationship we have. But I also want to give them something to go off of.
Like, he's not about the money, but he wants to create, and he respects me enough to invite me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get you.
And I feel comfortable creating, and I'll tell them like, this is trial and error. Like, I don't know what we're going to get out of it. And, you got to under promise and over deliver so people don't come in with expectations. But, 9 times out of 10, people are just like blown away. And they're like, I didn't know we could do this. So we just did one recently. I'm very excited. There's a couple more lined up. I don't want to give away too much.
Feel free. Whatever you feel.
There's a couple more things lined up that I'm really excited about. Working on a book at the moment.
Really?
So, yeah.
Like a coffee table book?
Right. It's been a work in progress for a while, and it's just kind of like, I did the photo selection. I started working with a couple of publishers and stuff. So let's see where that goes. I don't know. I wanted to do a gallery this year, and everything just kind of stopped. So we're gonna see where it goes. I mean, there's a lot of things that lined up for me in the beginning of the year last year, and then COVID paused it.
Right.
But it's all like done. Like it's stuff that's like ready to go. We're just waiting for things to clear out a little bit. You know,
it's marinating right now.
Right. It's all done. Like the paperwork's been signed. Like all that stuff's been. It's ready to go. I just gotta, I'm fueling the rocket to take off. That's really
good, bro.
My goal is, man, like what I'm trying to say is like where I'm trying to get at is stay healthy. That's all that matters. If you're healthy, if you have your health, I'm not talking about just COVID, just in general. If you're healthy,
if you can walk and you can move and talk,
it's a gift. It's a gift that we have that we don't look at. If you're healthy, anything else you could do, anything else. Like you're like, well, I'm healthy, but I'm living with my parents. I don't have enough money. I feel depressed. Dude, we've all been there. Every single. I've been in this city for 9 years. I've been in LA. I've done all this shit in 9 years.
See, most people are born and raised here. They can't move like that.
You gotta know how to take advantage of the situation you're put in. Like that's why I'm not trying to like be like, I'm not trying to brag about it. I'm just trying to explain that like there is an opportunity. There's a way to do it. And there have been situations where I didn't have enough money to buy new shoes. Like, like when you first move out here, it's really tough. Living in LA is a big thing. It's like a big jungle. So
that, and it's expensive as hell.
Right. So, I mean, just knowing how to navigate that, you got to create an opportunity for yourself. You got to show the people that this is what you want to do. And there's no magic sauce. Like if you want to shoot a thing for Adidas, let's say, go buy a couple of Adidas tracksuits, put it on your homies, shoot a sick ass campaign, put it in a deck, go on LinkedIn, find the person that does marketing and email it to them, like a cold email, and say, here's what I did.
He just put you on game, whoever's listening.
You know what I'm saying? Like do that. Do the same thing for like
Nike or whatever.
Like, if you want to work with that brand, if you want to work with a cannabis brand, go ahead and do that. If you want to work with models, like do what you did. Like, like find people that you think that are your friends that you could think that you could get like content, like dope content out of, and just email it to agencies or rep. Or you got to do all that. You got to email and text and call and
follow
Instagram
up
and follow up, and
because they'll forget about you a lot of the time.
Dude, there's so many other people doing what you're doing. What's gonna make you stand out?
Exactly.
You know what I'm
because
saying?
In the fashion industry, right? Like, let's say if I chose not to shoot someone, believe me, there's 5 more other people ready.
Absolutely.
Locked and loaded.
And they'll do it for free, and they're probably better than you.
Of course.
Like, how are you going to find, how are you going to convince them that you're the one they have to go with? Still get paid, still make money, still get the recognition. So it's like, it's a whole thing. It's not just like a one-time, here's your paycheck. You're good. You're not getting paid for 2 months on that shoot. Sometimes you got to follow up because the check got lost, because there's a different company handling it now. It's like a whole thing.
Believe me, man. I've had to go through loops for a lot of shit too.
It is, but then you get to say, I'm published in like Billboard magazine. Yeah, but getting that publication took like 6 years worth of work, and being in a situation where I wasn't supposed to be. I snapped a photo anyway. They liked it and they bought it. So it's like, it's a game. It's a whole hustle. It's not just, Billboard is going to hire you to go shoot for them. That's not how it works.
It's like, oh, it's Armen so-and-so. Let's hire him up.
Right.
That's nothing to...
Dude, no way. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So people get, people who don't understand how this part of, creativity works, the back end automatically assumes like, well, they probably just reached out to, it doesn't work that way.
No one's reaching out.
No,
you're
have
reaching
to,
out. And you're constantly reaching out, and you're trying to beat other people that are competing for that. So.
And because especially now, in the new age where we have all the access to so many different talented people through social media, man.
Right. I mean, you have the access. You know how to find people. You can connect with people. You know how to get to certain situations. You just gotta do it. That's the biggest thing, is like,
you gotta get off your ass and do it.
Dude, what held me back for the longest time is like, dude, a lot of my friends would look at my photos and be like, dude, you should post that. That's a sick shot. And I'll be like, yeah, but it doesn't really match my aesthetic look. I don't know if I'm gonna go for this because the people that follow me like this.
Because you're curating your page, right?
Dude, you're just like in the back of your head, just fucking post it. Just put it out there. Overwhelming response. Like just do it. Just go out and do it is like just do it, just
do it Nike style, bro.
Honestly, man, it works. It really does work. Just if you go out and do it, even if it's like not what you expected it to be, it's different from what you're doing, and people will respect that. People will see the value of that and be like, damn, he could also do this, and they could,
right.
You never know, like, who's following you, who's seeing your stuff, who's sending your stuff to someone else. Like, you never know.
Yeah, because in the back end they share it, right? So we don't know, and that's kind of how it started off when I shot a couple of spreads for Playboy magazine. That's how it worked out for me.
Okay.
Because I didn't know the creative director was following me. She ended up just like, listen, we want you to come through and shoot this. I mean, it didn't pay much, but it was great exposure. But it was always a dream for me to shoot it. So I ended up shooting it.
Right.
So that's like almost off my bucket list checklist. You know what I mean?
Dude, absolutely.
So you're right, man. You never know. That's why, I mean, whoever like comments or whatever, you know, I try to reach out to them and they'll reach out to me like, hey, how do you do this? And how do you do that? And I'll try to, you know, tell them there's no secret to any of this stuff, bro. But because what you shoot and I shoot, we could be in the same place. It won't look the same.
Absolutely.
But I don't know why people are so scared to like give direction or help to people who don't know. I don't know. That's because I was in their shoes when I was in their shoes too.
Everyone is.
You know, so
you got to go through it. And I think like you don't think you're good enough, or like if you were to do it, you do it completely
bro.
different. You're like, this isn't the normal setup I have. This isn't my light. This isn't my camera. Like
this is not the lens I like to use.
These aren't the people I know. Like
right.
You got to just jump in and be like, all right, this is what I'm working with.
Chiveros.
Cool. Yeah. 100%. You just got to jump in and do it. Like there's no other way. If you were to wait for everything to perfectly line up for you, that will happen for you once in your lifetime, let's say. Maybe not. And if it does happen, you're probably going to fuck it up because you're going to be nervous.
Because you ruined it. Yeah.
You're going to be nervous about it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, damn, it finally happened. Okay.
And then you fuck it up.
People wish for everything, but when it hits them, you're like, oh, shit.
It happened.
Like,
so what do I do with it now?
dude, it's the same thing in life.
Mm-hmm.
People that are single wish to have a girlfriend. When you get a girlfriend, you're like, I want to get married. People get married. They're like, oh, shit, this thing is tough. They're going to have a kid. Oh, my God, I'm a parent now. My lifestyle. Like, it's life. It's just a progression of life, right? What we often try to do is to stop that progression of life and like look at other people and be like, that will never happen to me because I'll do this the right way. You know, you think you got it. And then when you get fucking slapped with something else, you're like, how the fuck did I miss that? I was doing everything right. And then you start looking back and you start blaming yourself. Like that's what creates fear, anxiety,
doubt,
you don't need that
whatever.
Shit, bro. Like you got to put that shit away because all that stuff is deteriorating your creativity. It's taking it to a level where you don't want it to go. You know, like it's bringing it to some dark place that you're not going to be able to get out of. And then you're going to blame yourself for going in that dark place. And then you're going to be like, I did everything right. I guess I'm not good enough. I'm just going to quit. Like that.
I've had those moments.
Dude, that rut is real. Like,
of course, bro.
We've all been through
that.
It.
Creative block, all that shit is 100% correct. Because you're like, what do you mean?
Right.
It just goes blank.
It does.
And it's like the cogs that were moving before no longer, it needs WD-40 now because it's not working out. And then you get into like a rabbit hole, bro, of self-doubt and
everything. You got to have the right people around you to pull you out of that. It's a mental state. It's a mental health issue, right? And you got to have people that actually notice that and can pull you out of it rather than saying, yeah, I'm here if you need anything. That's not going to work.
I know.
It has to be someone that's been through it that could see that and recognize that you're going
and give you
that.
some type of advice, direction, you know.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing. You put on Instagram and social media and your website whatever you want to showcase to your clients. No one's going to know the backstory. Everyone's going to see the tip of the iceberg. No one's going to see what's under the water and the shit you have to do. Like, everyone only sees your accomplishments.
They don't know where you came from, what type of, how you got fucked over.
Dude,
how
no one sees it. No one sees it. And it sucks that we live in an era where me talking about the journey and how I did like a specific photo, how did I came to life and all that, that's called dropping gems. But that's just hustle, bro. Like in life, you gotta hustle. Nothing's for free. If anyone goes and asks their grandparents, how did you get successful? Especially Armenian grandparents, right? Their parents,
they always have a story.
Deported from genocide. They came with nothing. They didn't speak the language of the country.
When they came here, they didn't speak the language. They came with $100 in their pocket, and they have 6 kids with them.
Dude, 100%. Like, how did they?
That's my grandfather, bro. That's how they in the 70s. That's when he came here. He had $100. He had 3 daughters and a son,
bro.
And at that time, my grandmother had when they first came, she passed away. You know what I mean? At a young age. So now he's a single. Dad,
it's crazy. That's a crazy story. So think about that. Try putting yourself in that situation, right? You got to fight. You got to make end meets no matter what. And I feel like not having, like being in this pandemic and not having an income or like not having enough gigs and all that, that will like push you to spark your creativity to make money. Like it will make you to go out and like hustle. Like it will bring the hustle.
Start a new project that you were
anything.
That's why this podcast started, bro.
That's awesome, man. I love hearing that. I mean,
I'm like, I always look up to different podcasters. I'm like, maybe that's something that I would like to do because I'm always inquisitive towards people. I like to meet people, bro, like
Right.
genuine people. I like to see where they come from and see what their thought process is, and maybe they'll drop gems like you have today. Maybe I'll drop gems on them. You know,
Right.
you never know, man. But this is just a jumping off point, so it's almost like people can connect with one another.
Dropping gems is a great thing if you're an expert in your field and
Yeah.
you want to share what you've done in your journey.
Mm-hmm.
But when everyone around you is looking for gems to find themselves, that's when it becomes more valuable. Even though, like, what I'm saying is just my experience.
Right.
I've learned it at my own expense. I'm trying to tell you
Yeah.
to not do that. I mean, honestly, it's not to not do that or try to avoid it, but learn from it because it's going to happen to you. You can't avoid that. It's going to happen to you. Know how to deal with it. Maybe what I say will help you get through it. Great. That's awesome. But I want everyone to know that no matter how successful you think a person is,
You don't know their backstory.
you have no idea because we are showing you what we want you to see. We're not showing you the shit we don't want you to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to talk about like how many times I've been kicked out of venues because I didn't have a pass and I snuck in to shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you're just letting them know
it's part of the game. It
it's
happens.
going to
Like,
happen.
I'm not ashamed to say that. I've been kicked. I've had people come up to me and have asked me to delete photos off my camera.
I've gotten that too, bro.
Dude, it happens. You have like
They're like, let me see the whole
Right.
the whole card. I want to see
Yeah,
it.
totally. I mean, you're in a situation you're not supposed to shoot. You're starting off early on. You made a mistake. You know, like that's when you learn when to shoot, when not to shoot. That's when you know,
That's
like
fine. Good timing.
right. And sometimes you just got to be sneaky with it and get what you need, and then after the fact, it might be appreciated. You know, some of the most viral photos that I have, like I either didn't have a pass, I wasn't supposed to be there, like I ended up there like randomly, I snuck in, I hopped a fence. Like there's always a way. You know what I'm saying?
because you were dedicated enough to do that, bro.
Absolutely.
Because most people, like you said, one obstacle comes through, they stop
Right.
just off of one obstacle. You know how many obstacles that you've gone through, I've gone through, many other creatives still go through.
It's nonstop.
No,
It's nonstop.
Even filmmakers, dude. Even filmmakers have to go through 95 different loops to make a feature.
Right. No, it's tough. Especially out here, we live in Hollywood. Everyone is somebody. Everyone is something. You know, like
Your waiter might be actually the next, so whomever.
you never know.
Exactly.
That's the thing is like, I like it and I hate it. I always tell myself is like I can one day leave this place and go wherever and be like the guy who did it in Hollywood is now here starting a agency or some shit, right?
Like a marketing agency or a media agency, yeah.
And people would pay a lot of money just to come and do that.
Of course.
And people sell out and do that, and that's great. But I'm passionate about this. I want to do this for the rest of my life, and after I die, I want someone to take this legacy and say, this is how we did it. You know what I'm saying?
that,
Like,
dog.
I can't leave this shit behind. I can't move to, like, Texas or some shit. Like, I can't do it. The only other place I can move to is New York.
The other hub.
It's still not L.A.
No, but that's the other hub.
It's the closest thing possible. It's
Yeah.
wherever, obviously, New York, like, shout out to New York, being like,
Yeah.
respect to them, but, like, it's not LA. And I don't know, it's just something about LA is like the hub of the Instagram. I hate and love this place so much at the same time.
To live and die in LA, bro.
Dude, I fucking hate LA.
I do too.
hate it.
Bro, I was born and
hate
raised
it,
here, man. Tell
but
me.
I fucking love it. And it's just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I hate this industry, but I'm fucking passionate about it. I love it. I shoot concerts and music and artists because I love live music. That's what got me into this. You know what I'm saying? Like I was sneaking my camera into live music shows back in Lebanon. So it's like, if there is a will, there is a way.
The way. That's right, man.
People message me all the time on Instagram. Hey, bro, like I'm an up and coming photographer from like Ohio. I just graduated high school. I bought this camera. What lenses can I buy to shoot like you? My first answer is like, the gear.
It's irrelevant a lot of the time, man.
The gear, you should only buy the like $4,000 or $5,000 camera if it's getting in the way of your creativity. Like if you're trying to shoot a wide angle shot at night in a specific scenario that you will be consistently shooting in, not that one time, that you're going to consistently be shooting in.
And it's going to pay for itself.
Right.
Yeah.
You need a full frame camera and the $2,000 1635, lens.
Very nice lens, L series.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, one of my favorite lenses. Then buy it. But buying a $10,000 camera like
It's not gonna
is not gonna make you a better
spark your
photographer.
creativity.
Well,
no. It might. Maybe it might inspire you to create some stuff, but
Right.
but I've created off of a $250.
dude, I ask
whatever.
people all the time. I'm like, why do you want to get that lens? And they're like, well, everyone online is using that. Why is everyone using that lens? I don't know. Well, okay, so then why are you gonna buy it? Like, that's what I'm trying to explain to people. Is like a lot of times, like we have these conversations about gear and how to get access, and I'll tell people like, dude, there is no magic formula. If you're somebody that's starting out and you want to enter this market that is overly saturated,
definitely
pay your dues. That's the only way
you're gonna get it.
That's the only way you're gonna learn what mistakes you're gonna make. I mean, learn from the mistakes you're gonna make, and then learn how to navigate this industry and become successful. I tell people, it's not an overnight success, dude. There's no way.
No, bro.
It's impossible.
I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm still trying to, hustle it out. And then I enjoy that though.
Right.
I enjoy the hustle. Right. Like you were explaining, it's all like you want to leave some type of mark here, right?
Absolutely.
I've always had that thought process, to be honest.
It's history. You're documenting history.
Exactly. So how I think about it is like, it's like a lot of people are too busy or are trying to figure out a way to be famous, right? I've always said, I don't want to be famous. I want the work to be famous,
right?
To inspire somebody else.
Absolutely.
That's the whole idea. That's all I've always wanted. I mean, and if along the way they want to pay me for it, beautiful.
You got to know how to like monetize it for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of times it happens to me, like when I meet people at concerts and be like, yo, what's up? Like we'll talk, we're both having cameras, whatever. I'll be like, what's your Instagram? I'll check it out. And I'll be like, dude, I've been following you for like fucking 3 years. I love your work. Like, this is what I love about what you do. And they're like, oh my God, you're that guy. You shot this? I've seen this, like wherever. And I'm like, your work is famous. You don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool to be known for what you do. It's great.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent. Yeah. Because it's tough to, then what do you do? Like, you're not that person. Like, you're not a person that you're known for your photography. You're not one of the people that it's in your photos. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough to like navigate that.
I can't do any of these poses, bro.
What I'm trying to get at is like people don't understand that. Like, yeah, it's cool to be known. Like, people are like, oh, you're famous. You have like 30,000 followers. I'm like, no, I'm not. My pictures are of famous people, and people like the way I take pictures. A lot of people don't know what I look like. I never post photos of myself.
This is what he looks like, guys.
This is what I look like. But yeah, man, it just comes down to like, your work needs to be, like you said, your work needs to be known. That work will, because people are going to email you when they see your work and then be like, we would love to hire you to do this. They have no idea what the fuck you look like, where you live, what you
care.
like. They just
but
don't
the
care.
Images,
they're like, we want that quality.
That's what we want it to look like. That's the aesthetic I want to see.
I just got an email from a publication in Brazil that wants to buy a few of my photos of like a specific, I'm like, how the hell did a publication in Brazil find my photos? I asked them, and I was like, how did you find it? They're like, the biggest blog in Brazil posted your photo of so-and-so like a couple weeks ago, and we saw the tag, and we started following you, and now we want to buy these photos. And I was like, it's kind of crazy what social media does. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, social media is a double-edged sword, man. It's either this way or that, because it could ruin you easily.
Right.
So many people have been ruined on there, dude.
And their relationships and people that are around them. People, dude, money and connection and all that, it fucks everyone up. You got to know how to balance it, navigate it. Sometimes you just got to put your phone away and just be like, fuck this. Like, I'm getting too invested in this. Like, it's not what I want to do. It's not what I'm known for. You know what I'm saying? So
I've always, I used to be on there always, when Instagram first popped off,
right?
And I was just starting to do all this stuff,
right?
I'm like, I need it. I need the content.
Right.
I need to get my followers up. You're like, and then you would try to refresh, like how many people are liking it?
I've definitely been there. For sure.
And then after a while, you're like, fuck this,
dude. I post it, I throw it away. I don't look at it for like an hour, and then I'll go and be like, all right, this is doing good. Or I'll look at the comments. I'll respond to some of my friends or some of the people that I don't know. I'll just comment back. But like, you got to maintain that. You can't just completely say sorry. You can't just completely say like fuck this. But you got to at the same time know when to like step away from it, because if you're obsessing over that, that's when you become like,
of course,
like, I don't know. It's just it's a double-edged sword, like you said. So
anyway, man, it's helped out a lot of people. It's helped you. It's helped me, and it's helped so many people get their work out there to be seen.
Right.
Which is great. But now when we see Instagram, it's all majority of it is ads, back end ads, and it's kind of ruined the platform itself. That's why a lot of people are migrating to Clubhouse, like we were mentioning. Which, again, I don't know this man. This is the first time I've met him. But he's very, very cool.
But we've been in multiple rooms and chatted for multiple hours on Clubhouse.
I've been on there for like a week and a half, bro. And it's long ass nights. I don't know. Some people are there. Like I'll go to sleep. I'll wake up. They're still there. I don't know how the fuck they do that.
Dude, everyone's at home. Just kind of feeling lonely. They want to connect with people. And the app is honestly great. Like, it just helps you network with people in whatever interest you're in. Like, we met in the Armenians Club, right? Like,
that's right.
Cool. We all come together. We chat. We have a fun time. We laugh. We cry. We talk about this, that. Like, we connect over something.
Absolutely. But
that's one avenue. I go into the creative rooms. I go into the social media
rooms. So do I, dude.
I go into like the cryptocurrency rooms. I go into like people talking shit about music. I go into like the bullshit rooms where people just talking like shooting the shit. You got to know how to cultivate from each room.
You're curating from you pick and choose some of the things that you hear. I've been into some of these conspiracy rooms.
Oh my god,
those are the best. The tinfoil hat people.
Oh my god, we're taking off. The flight's about to take off to Mars on this date. Get ready. Here's what you need to prepare. Like,
which was amazing yesterday, actually, dude. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I did. I'm happy. It's a big step for humanity, bro.
Absolutely.
I mean, the place they landed is supposed to be like where life forms would have gone because they did detect traces of H2O and stuff like.
So now the rovers out there trying to hunt for life form or something, because I think they're trying to colonize Mars in the very near future.
Let's just not fuck it up, man. We fucked up Earth heavy, you know.
Well, I think that's the thing.
I don't know. Is it against nature to go to a different planet? I don't
think so.
I don't think I'll ever go to Mars personally, just because I hate flying. I hate heights and stuff in general.
So how do you, like, let's say when you have to travel, when you do travel?
I travel so much. It's an experience every time. Like it's a
anxiety kicks in or what?
No, like you don't want to fly with me. You don't want to sit next to me on a plane when I'm flying. Like I'm working on it. You know, I'm trying to. This is the first time where I've like accepted that it's like a real problem where it might get in the way of business to like go seek help, like therapy or whatever I need to do for it. It never used to be that way. When I moved to LA, like I traveled the world alone, no problem. When I moved to LA early on, I went through like a big phase of like anxiety, depression, panic attacks and all that.
So you think that brings it on? Like,
I think what it is
that experience.
It's not that experience, is knowing that I guess I left my like safe haven, home, family, everything.
Your comfort zone.
To something completely different.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't like, obviously, like what I did is I got a little successful, but it didn't backfire. But I felt like I wasn't doing the right thing. It was like this whole confusion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was alone. So when I'm alone or in a situation where it's like I'm leaving somewhere in my comfort zone, I always get like anxious. You know what I'm saying? Like I've camped my whole life. I've been out in the woods for a month every summer. I used to go camping in Lebanon. Boy Scouts, this, that, friends, whatever. Now I'm like, I'm going to go to a secluded area. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't know. It just instated this fear in me that I'm trying to get out of me. Like, this is stupid. Like, why is this a thing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And it bothers you, right?
It does. I mean, being in a shitty situation where it's like, I'm on the plane, I'm nervous. I'm going to the biggest gig of my life. And I'm like, just like nervous.
You're like clenching.
Yeah,
right?
Dude. Imagine like people like in their lifetime, most people don't get to get on a private jet. Imagine getting on a private jet for the first time and you're just like nervous about like takeoff and like being comfortable and all that. Like I'm just a person that's like that, and I'm trying to defeat that, and I'm trying to overcome that. You know, it's like finding the cause of a problem and identifying it as a problem
and trying to solve it. Yeah,
is the first step towards a solution.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it. I'm doing things outside of my comfort zone again. The best thing I've done is move outside of my comfort zone for my life. Moving to LA has been like one of the biggest things that I've done. Leaving friends, family, everyone behind, just coming out here alone when I was 19 years old.
Do you have family out here now?
I have distant now. Yes, my mom, my brother, and sister moved here last year.
Oh, where? That's good.
I had my dad's distant family when I moved here, and I stayed with them for a few months, and then I was on my own. Like they gave me a place to stay rent free for like a few months. I think like 3 or 4 months.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, and just find a job and then go do your thing.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for them. That was great. I had never met them in my life, so it was like a first time thing. You know what I'm saying? But that in itself is like, I don't know these people. I'm living with them. My life is changing.
Right.
You know, like I'm in the U.S. I'm coming from the Middle East. It's like a whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're born and raised in the Middle East, but
I'm born here. I was raised.
I'm
a U.S. citizen. I was born in Boston.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, you're born in the Middle East. I'm like, bro, you speak English amazingly, bro.
You wanted me to speak English like
this, my friend.
To you. Okay, my friend, look, I come to this country. I have $2 in my pocket. I didn't have money to buy Pepsi.
Yeah.
But then I work very hard. Very, very hard. I keep working and working and working. And then money come.
Yeah.
No, I can do that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So was there a reason that your family, moved back to the Middle East?
Yeah. When the war ended, everyone's like, dude,
let's go home.
Lebanon's coming back to life. And it really did. I grew up in so when we went, it was like the peak of building the country. I was like 5 or 6 years old when we went. Up until I was 14, shit was slapping, bro. It was like the Vegas of the Middle East. Parties, people come in. Like, it was the vacation hub for the Middle East. Everyone went there.
I always wanted to go, by the way.
Dude, it's the only Christian Arab country in the Middle East. Think about it that way. So everything's open. They used to be a French colony. They're very European.
That's right. They used to call it the Monte Carlo. No,
Paris of the Middle East.
Yeah, Paris of the Middle East. Yeah.
The downtown Beirut is literally designed from the Place de l'Étoile in France, like which is the star. You know what I'm saying? Like like all that. It's literally a replica. All connects, right? It's a replica of it, and it leads you to the Parliament. That's literally how it's designed. So it was great for a while. You just lived the dream. Then political bullshit, assassinations, this and that, bombs going on and off, war with Israel. Like so much shit happened that you had the best life. It turned into shit, and it only kept going down. From 2005 up until today, it's been on a roller coaster, steady decline, and right now it's literally like hitting the ground.
Like last year, what when what exploded over there?
The port building had a lot of ammonium nitrate chemicals, and it just blew up. It was the explosion was about the size of like an atomic bomb.
No, yeah, I saw it on TV. I was like, holy shit, bro.
It was the saddest thing that's happened to me, bro. Like seeing that. Last year I lost both of my grandparents.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, man. It was crazy because they're my second parents. They're literally who raised me. Couldn't go to Lebanon to the funeral because COVID. It was when the airports were literally shut down. You couldn't get on a flight. It's not that we didn't want to go. There's physically impossible to go. Right after that, the explosion happened. Right after that, the COVID shit happened. Right after that, the war in Armenia happened. Like a lot of shit happened last year. I have every reason to sit home and be depressed and cry about it and be like, oh, I'm not gonna. Dude, you got to break out of that. You got to break out. Like life is gonna throw curveballs at you all day, every day. No one's gonna be happy all the time.
You gotta take the hits,
dude. If you're up here, ride that high because it's like a spinning wheel, bro. You're gonna be up and down and up and down. It's just maintaining
peaks and valleys,
bro. It's finding the middle ground, finding the balance. That's the only thing that will keep you sane. Everyone goes through bullshit. Everyone goes through shit, and it's not. Life isn't easy as it looks on Instagram. People living carefree, traveling, influencers, this, that. A lot of people kill themselves. Like, 100%. They're not happy. They're just not genuinely not happy.
Or they're not even who they are, man. I've been to, let's say, an influential person who has millions of followers, bro.
Right.
I've been to their apartment. There's nothing there besides a mattress on the floor and like a TV.
Absolutely.
You know?
A lot of these rappers live that way. They're making millions of dollars, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars being in Airbnb because they got to fly to Atlanta to work with so-and-so and be, and be in LA for so-and-so and do this. Like, dude, have stability. Let people come to you. Like, do dope shit. They will come to you.
Absolutely.
Find balance. Don't push yourself like too crazy because it's really easy to get caught up. I know it's easy to talk about it now because I've been through it and I still make these mistakes sometimes. But
no, we all do, man. We all do.
You got to find that. That's like finding that middle ground is really important. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you for being here, bro.
Dude, thanks for having me.
So that's been an hour.
It's been an hour.
I know. But
I didn't even feel it that way. We're just having a good time.
No, absolutely. It's been an hour. We've been. I mean, I can go for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? But I think we should schedule one more, maybe in the very near future, where we can sit down, have a couple of drinks, and really,
dude, I would love
dissect a lot of shit together.
We'll talk about like whiskeys and stuff. I'm a big fan of whiskey. I'm looking at your bottles there. It's just too early right now to start drinking.
No, I know.
It's had any food or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if we could do that at the moment, but
no, it's a little too early.
I would love to come back. Like this was just a great, like just genuinely connecting with you online, not knowing who you are, just having conversations, and just you could tell when people are like level headed and they know what they're talking about rather than just like talking out
spewing nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people that's spewing nothing and you're doing that, I encourage you to change your mentality.
I would take his advice.
I've had people come up to me, pull me aside and say, I love you, but you're a fucking asshole. We got to change something about this.
I've gotten that too.
You're great at what you do. You're great at this and that. Here's the problem. Work on this. If no one did that to me, I would have been the biggest dick. Probably failed in my career because of my ego and all that. Like, I'm just saying, like,
I think, as Armenians, I think we have to be in charge of all of our situations. Right. I think that's just built into innate. Us.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, I feel that. But you got to know how to take that past tragedy that's instated in you and turn it around and be a little bit different.
And I guess some people can't embrace, people can't embrace the change of life. They can't. Right. They like to stay in the same thing and
because it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Like, it's a comfort zone.
And that's like my parents are like that sometimes. I'm like, get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
She's, my mom will always tell me like, life is short, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, you should take that same advice. I'm like, it's almost like contradicting yourself.
Right.
But
Look, I'll end it off with this. I am by no means like a famous person. People around me are famous. I shoot celebrities and all that. And people recognize me for being around these people. That's great. That's awesome. Like you said, I want my art to be famous. I don't want to be famous, right? But with that being said, in order for you to get to that position and situation, you got to be humble. You got to work hard. You got to learn how to network. You got to have a hustle mentality. You can't expect shit from anyone. And always under promise
and over deliver. Wonderful.
That's it. Just be genuine, bro. Just have humility. Be genuine with people. Be the way you are, like you would talk to your best friend, talking to whoever.
Yeah.
That's the best feeling. The satisfaction you get out of that, because all these people are surrounded by people like that want, oh, I'm the best at this. Let me do this. Like they're forcing it. It's too hard. Just let it fucking naturally happen. If it's dope, like people will recognize and they might give you an opportunity bigger than what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Just let it be, write it out, be genuine, be dope, and always stay healthy.
And on that note, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Armen. Thanks for coming through.
I appreciate it,
And
man.
this is Lost in Hollywood, episode 6. See you guys later. Bye.
Listen, buddy, I'm not going to be around when the Armenians take over the world.
Who the hell wants you?
That was